Hello, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at what we have here. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make these delicious meat pie, okay? Now, this is how, if you're from West Africa, they make Nigerian meat pie, they make Ghana meat pie, but I'm going to show you how I make this meat pie, and my son couldn't wait to dig in. This is so delicious, and the filling is absolutely delicious. Okay, so first things first, I need you to go ahead and hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so every time I push a video out, you will be notified. And once you're finished doing that, let's get into the kitchen and let's bake up these delicious meat pies. Okay, you can see this like a beef patty. First, we're gonna mix our dry ingredients. I'm adding flour, Himalayan salt, give it a good mix. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add some grated onion, some black pepper, and that was grated fresh onion. Then we're gonna go ahead and add our unsalted butter that's been frozen. I cut them up into these cubes, then I put them in the freezer for a bit. And here I'm using a pastry blender right here. If you don't have a pastry blender, you can use your fingers. This pastry blender helps to break up the butter, and it avoids you from touching the flour and the dough, because if the more warm your hands are, your dough will become, your flour will become warm. But if you don't have a pastry blender, here I'm using my hand to show you that I'm breaking up the butter, and because this butter is frozen, you have some wiggle room to play with. So I'm breaking it up, and you want it to begin to look crumbly, and that's when you know that it's good to go with the water. So go ahead until it becomes looking crumbly. And once it begins looking crumbly, we'll get our ice cold water. And I like to put the water in the freezer too. I put the butter in the freezer too because I want this to be cold. Anytime you're making a pastry dough, cold, cold, cold. If your pastry dough is cold when you're preparing it, you are going to come out with a very flaky dough, which is what you want. You don't want a tough dough. This is the consistency that we want. So now I'm going to gradually add the flour. As I add the flour, I mix, but I'm not kneading. I'm just bringing everything together. You're going to keep adding water, bringing it together. Adding water, bringing it together. Have patience when anytime you're making pastry dough. You got to be patient, okay? This is going to teach you how to be patient, because if not, you're going to have a hard dough and it's not going to come out good, and we don't want that. So go ahead and gradually add the ice cold water, bring it together. You see I'm not kneading it, I'm just pushing it together, bringing it together. Then you add water where there's dry spots. You just add the water, bring it together. Add the water, bring it together. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet and you've made it this far in the video, give your girl a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let YouTube know that you are enjoying Sasu Flavors, where everything is made with impeccable, delicious flavors. And today on the menu, I am teaching you Baking 101, how to make meat pies, or where I'm from, we call it beef patty, okay? But if you're from West Africa, they call it meat pie. It's just a pastry dough with meat in the middle. And today we're going to be using beef for this recipe. So keep bringing this together, bringing it together. Have patience as you bring it together. Got a little bit more to go, and as you can see, I'm sliding it around like a circle, making sure I want to get all of the pastry dough incorporated into this. And this is perfect, the way how it's coming together. Yes, 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 yes. Turn it around, look at that, just picking it up. Then you're gonna cut it into two After you cut it into two, put it in saran or plastic wrap, I should say. Then you're gonna put this in the refrigerator. You can use it the next day or you can use it within 1 or 2 hours. Let's go ahead, make the beef filling. I'm using this is avocado oil, I'm sorry. Then I'm gonna use my homemade green seasoning. I use red onion, I use the yellow onion, and I cut up a green scallion for this recipe. If you do not have the recipe for my homemade green seasoning, click that link in the comments. You will find a green seasoning recipe that will take your dishes to a whole new level of flavor. You hear me? So you want to go ahead and mix all of this yumminess together. And when your onions begin to look translucent, then you know that you're in business, okay? Here I'm adding a plum tomato. I de-seeded the inside and I'm just using the skin that I diced up in to put it in here because it gives your ground beef a real good flavor, okay? Then once you're finished with that, we're going to add some Goya tomato paste because everything's good with a little Goya. So you want that to fry up, and when it begins to look like your tomato paste has fried up and you can see it, you can see that it looks different, go ahead and add you the fresh minced garlic, mix it together. If you can smell what's coming from this pot, oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I'll be using ground beef for this recipe, and yes, I wash my ground beef with a little water and some vinegar. Go ahead and put it in your pan. I'm using 1 pound of ground beef for this recipe, and you want to go ahead and smash it, break it apart, because we're making this for the beef filling and we don't want it to be chunky. We want it to be nicely mashed out, okay? If you are still watching me and you have not hit that like button, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, give me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow for more deliciousness. So go ahead and mash it out. And what we want in this beef is when you see that there's no more pink, you know that your beef is cooked, okay? No more pink, is cooked. We don't want no raw meat pie, okay? You want your meat cooked for this recipe, okay? Here I'm gonna go ahead and add some dry thyme, followed by paprika powder that's in here. Garlic powder, onion powder is all up in here. Go ahead and give it a good mix. If you have dry rosemary powder, you can add that in there. If you have dry thyme, you can add it in there too, okay? And also dried oregano. This is just gonna give your meat a good flavor, and just mash it some more. This doesn't take long to cook at all, okay? So here I'm adding some habanero pepper. You can add scotch bonnet just to give it a little kick. You can add chipotle pepper powder, cayenne pepper. You can add whatever kick you want to add with it. If you don't want to add anything, don't add anything. But I like putting a little habanero in here to give it a little spice, okay? Here I'm adding some soy sauce, followed by some oyster sauce, and a little bit of browning, just a little bit. You're gonna mix it together and then you're gonna taste it. Once you mix together and you taste it and you see that you need salt, that's when you're gonna add some salt to your taste, okay? Because remember, the soy sauce has some salt in there, so you wanna make sure you don't add any salt to this meat until you get to the ending, okay? This is a very yummy filling that you can use even in my Jamaican meat pie patty recipe. This is the filling, okay? This is so good. Here I'm adding a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. Here is where you add your finishing touches to this. And once you get to the end of this, you know that it's time to lock in all of the seasoning. Add some more all-purpose seasoning if you need. Add some more salt if you need. Just make sure your meat filling tastes good, because ain't nobody want no meat filling that don't got no flavor. Here I'm adding in the cornstarch, because this is gonna help to suck up the oil. If you need to add any more salt, like I said, go ahead and add it. Then here I got me some scotch bonnet ginger garlic paste. This is just optional. I just added that because I just love the flavor of that. I made that from scratch. Some ginger garlic paste with scotch bonnet pepper. Oh my gosh, so good. So it just takes this to a whole new level of flavor. So good. So I'm adding that in there. That's optional. You don't have to add it. If you don't add it, it's still gonna be good, okay? Then I needed some more flour. Not flour, excuse me. You can add flour though, but I'm using cornstarch for this recipe. But you can add flour to take the oil out so that you have a beef that's not full of the oil, because remember, we don't want our patties to burst when we put the filling in. So that's why we're putting in the cornstarch to help suck that rest liquid up. Then we're gonna leave that to the side to cool down, and then flour our board here and get ready to roll out our meat pie, okay? So first things first, I put the flour on here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half. Then I'm gonna go ahead and cut them again with how many I desire to have, okay? Now remember, if this is your first time making meat pies, you gotta just cut it, see what it does, because if you don't have that special thing to roll your dough and you're just doing it by your eye, hey, this is what sometimes you gotta do. When you're trying to just make something for your family, you might not have all the fancy stuff, just cut it. Once you put it in the patty mold, you will have an idea of the size, okay? If you don't have a patty mold to use, you can always get a pot cover, a small pot cover to use as a guide, okay? So you want to roll it out into a circle, and as you're rolling it, you flip it, you turn it around, you roll it to the next side, okay? And the dough is still a little bit cold, and this is what happens for real. Your dough will start to act like it's breaking apart, but once you keep going, you hit it a little, you roll it out, and now it looks like it's in that kind of circle, because when we're making meat pies, we don't want them very big. And you see here I had a little patch, so I'm just bringing it together because the dough is still cold, okay? So here I have my pastry mold that I'm using. So you look at it and you just make sure it fits, you have enough dough to go around. And as you can see, I'm patching the sides. And then you want to have some water to brush around the edges, okay? This is going to help seal your patty, okay? It's going to help seal it. Then we're going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of filling into our meat pie. Then just a little bit more, yep. And then you just fold it over, and this is what you have. Take the edges off, and you can get this mold on my Amazon storefront. The link is in the comments of this video. And look at what we have here. Oh, this looks so beautiful. Do you see the little speckles of black pepper? So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on a baking tray lined with parchment paper. And here I want to show you another way how I do with this meat pie. If you have a tortilla press, you put your parchment paper on the bottom, put your dough in the middle, then you cover it with another piece of parchment paper, and you press that bad boy out. Oh my goodness. You might not have a tortilla press to do this, but if you do have a tortilla press, this is a lifesaver, okay? It cuts out you having to roll it. Do you see that? Look at that. It's in a circle, okay? So now I take that circle that I made and I put it right back into my patty, or if you don't have a molding thing, you can just use a fork. Brush it with the water, fill it with your beef, and you're good to go. Don't have a patty mold, you take it out and then you use your fork and you just make the designs with the fork. And then we're gonna go ahead and punch three little holes on the top of our patties with the fork, so that when it bakes, it can just, everything can get inside and it bakes the way it needs to bake. Show you again. Have not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then after this we want to glaze it with our egg glaze. Okay, we're gonna glaze it with our egg glaze. If you don't like egg, you can just do water and milk, but here all the ingredients to the glaze for this is gonna be in the description box. Because when your patties come out, you want them to have a nice shine. You're gonna bake this in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 minutes. Check them when they get to 25 minutes, and then after that, they're good to go. So bake at 375 for 35 minutes. When you hit the 25-minute marks, check them, okay? And I hope you enjoy this recipe. I hope you follow for more. Let me know how you like this. My son could not wait to dig in. Look at this. It looks so good. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.